Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about our Jeep here, do a Jeep walk around. This is a 2012 Jeep Rubicon, two-door. We'll just go over some of the stuff on the build. We've got a Poison Spider Brawler bumper on the front. We got Baja Designs lights, the fog lights. Smitty built X2O winch. That's the 10,000 pound winch. Underneath in the front, we have the Yeti Steer Smarts. We've got their tie rod, their track bar, and their drag link. Poison Spider diff covers. We've got the anti-rock front sway bar. It is a Rubicon. We just took the Rubicon bar off. You can get me. It's got rock crawler springs, rock crawler 4.5 inch lift springs, the Fox 2.0, internal floating piston shocks. The tires on it, we're running our 37 inch Cooper STT Pros mounted on KMC Machete beadlocks. We have the full big brake system on it. The front brakes on it are power stop, the front and rear brakes. For control arms, we've got all 8 adjustable control arms. The fronts are Core 4x4 out of Utah. The rears are all metal cloak. It's got Dana 44s front and rear. The front has got an Artec truss, Artec C gussets, and it's got the factory lockers, the E-lockers front and rear. And when you come up onto the side here, the fenders on it are Moto-Bilt's Crusher, 2.5 inch. It's got Moto-Bilt inner fenders on it. Coming along the side of the Jeep here, we've got, you can get back a little bit, we've got the Poison Spider rocker knockers. These are not the frame mounted, they're the body mounted, but they do take a beating. We've had them up on the rocks and no issues. Coming around here, it's got a full rock light system underneath it for to be able to see at night. On the top here, we have the Bestop Super Top Pro. It's a Trek top version in the twill material. Has all the glass windows, glass sliders, and the rear window is glass, but everything can be removed like a regular soft top. Coming around the back here, we've got actually an Amazon special LED rear tail lights, more off-road rear tailgate hinge. It's got a crawl off-road rear tire delete. The rear bumper on this is a Savvy off-road. It's their VHT, very high and tight. It's a frame chop rear bumper. You actually had to cut the rear frame on this Jeep. It pulls the bumper in 4 inches closer. Lifts the rear bumper up, giving you a great departure angle. Underneath in the back, we also have the Core 4x4 rear track bar on it for adjustability to keep everything in spec. Again, we've got the Poison Spider rear def cover on it. Still have stock axle shafts in the back. Again, we've got the big brake system, everything. All the orange custom powder coat was done by myself in the basement. Still running stock calipers on it, but it's got the little bit bigger rotor and the better brake pad system on it. Also on the front of the Jeep, we do have the new RCV axle shafts, chromoly CV joint axle shafts on it. Basically, just about indestructible. They actually have a lifetime warranty for the shafts. They're the ones with the little red ball. They're easy to pick out. Make it so that you get rid of the U-joints up at the axle end, so that when you're articulating and turning hard off-road, you're not putting any bind. There's no U-joint there to bind up on it. And then we also run the Fox 2.0 stabilizer right now, which is being upgraded. We were out in Moab last year, realized we need hydro steer, so we started buying all the stuff from PSC to get the PSC hydro steer. And all the parts are sitting at the house because the only thing that didn't come in time was the actual steering gearbox. So we've got the reservoir, we've got the power steering pump, we've got the RAM, but the steering box, the big bore steering box, was on back order thanks to COVID. So we are out here again out west, fighting with the steering on it, using just a steering stabilizer and not being able to run the hydro steer. Underneath the Jeep, we still run the factory skid plates for both the transmission and the gas tank skid. Being that this Jeep sits up on 37s and a taller lift, we don't really have a bottom. I mean, you can look and see we've done some pretty gnarly trails out here, and it doesn't really tear up the skid plates when you're sitting up higher. We do have both front and rear Adams drive shafts. They're the 1310s, the 1310 front, 1310 rear, and they have been phenomenal for off-road. And like I said, once you get up a little bit more on the lift, you kind of need to swap out your drive shafts. Again, I'm not really heavy on the gas pedal when I'm off-road, so we were able to run the 1310s, didn't need to go to the 1350s. And I think that's about it underneath the Jeep. We're running a muffler delete on it, so actually the exhaust system ends right before the back axle. It runs through the factory catalytic converters and resonator, but for, again, rock crawling clearance in the back, it's muffler delete on it. Everything else on the outside, I think, is about done. Oh, and in the hood, I guess we get into the hood. It does have what looks like an anniversary hood, is actually from Rough Country. They're the ones that had the extra vent, and the vents originally come sealed off. They're more for looks, but I went through and cut all the vents on it to make them functional, so that you have the extra heat dissipation that you need. And then when you come around to the inside of the Jeep here, oh, real quick one. Oh, still on the outside, we have the Quadratec mirror movers. On the mirror movers on this Jeep, basically what it is it moves your mirror up to the front. They're on a pivot. So when you want to run half doors on the Jeep or no doors at all, it moves your mirror out of the way but keeps it in a factory location. You slide them out, lift your doors off, you still have mirrors in the factory location, still able to keep the heated. Now we are on vacation, so it's kind of a mess on the inside, but as you can see on the interior here, we've got the spiderweb shade bag. Normally have a spiderweb shade up top that's off right now because it's wintertime. The seats are the Mopar factory seats done in cat skin leather. They're custom designed cat skin orange and black perforated leather. It does have the heated seats. The radio has been upgraded onto it. It is a Chicane 10.2 inch full touchscreen radio. It's actually a full tablet, so it has full computer capability. We run 67 designs phone holders for both myself and my wife, so that we can hold my phone going down the road and then have hers used to be able to mount a camera to get some extra views for you. Other than that, the interior is basically stock, other than the fact that the carpet has been removed completely. The whole tub has been rhino lined. And again, so when you're off-road, you can get out there and get it dirty, get it whatever, grab the hose, throw it in there, wash everything out, pull the drain plugs, and it's cleaned out. I think that's about it. I mean, the stereo system, other than that, is basically stock. It does have a small amp. It's got an Alpine amp in it, and it has Focal speakers. We used to run those on a motorcycle. Was very happy with the quality of the Focal speakers, and so we've got them also in this. Under the hood, we're basically stock. For recovery stuff, we do carry full recovery gear. Like I said, we've got the winch on the front. We have a kinetic rope that we run, 20-footer, 7/8 20-footer kinetic rope. We also do run a strap. We have a homemade or built Amazon power tank system to fill up the air. in the tires when you go to air down off-road. If you're doing it many times, like now that we're traveling, we're out in Utah. We're originally from Michigan. We also have the new RC components. Their large compressor, the 5.6 liter or 5.6 cubic foot per minute compressor, which is just like the new Smitty built. It allows me, with my air inflation and deflation system, to be able to fill all these 37s. We run about 8 pounds now with the bead locks when we're aired down, and I run about 24, 26 pounds on the expressway, and we can just hook up that compressor and in about 10 minutes, 12 minutes time, fill all 4 tires at once with the compressor. You know, when you're away from places where you get the CO2. The CO2 is much faster. I can fill all 4 of them roughly about a minute and 15 seconds per tire, which is great when you're in a hurry. But when you've got the time, running them with the air compressor just makes it so it's a little bit more convenient. You know, long time, so that you're not having to refill. And then here we are in the rear is Jeep. As you can see, we're traveling. Everything's a little dusty again out here in Moab. We do run the Bougie RV 24 quart refrigerator. This is one that plugs in 12 volt. This is both a refrigerator or a freezer. It can be set to either. We run the spare tire right now only when we travel. Right now we're 2,500 miles from home, so we run the spare tire in the back, but anything we do local, I don't run a spare. I do carry a plug kit, a patch kit for the tires. This is my bag here that we have my air compressor and all my air up lines fit in. We do run a fire extinguisher in the back for just in case. And then this here is our power tank system on a power tank mount. And then this is the rope that I was talking about here. We run the ditch pig. I know a lot of the guys are using some of the bigger, huge brand names, but the 7/8 by 20 foot kinetic rope, they work phenomenal for pulling people out. And the nice thing is this one was available at Tractor Supply, was about $80, $85 instead of, you know, some of the bigger, huge brand names that you see on YouTube. That run $180. And I mean, we've pulled out a big truck. We were out in the sand dunes and had to pull a 1-ton truck out many times because he kept getting stuck. And we did it with our little ditch pig recovery rope. And then also, if you can see in here, we do also run the Factor 55 snatch block. This is the one for synthetic ropes. It was something that we just picked up. Instead of having to carry the big heavy metal snatch block that you worry about pinching your fingers in, you now run this with the soft shackles. And again, we run some of the more economical soft shackles. They've holed up, they've done what we've needed them to do, and had no issues so far. And then this here, we run a tailgate table from Rock Slide Engineering. The tailgate table folds flat, as you can see where the refrigerator is. You've got all the clearance you need, and then when you want to set it up, fold it up, put the sides out, the table folds out that quickly, fold it back down, and now you've got a 2-tier table. The table works great to fit our Coleman grill, 2-burner stove with the butane tank next to it. Fits in there perfectly, still gives you some shelf space up top. And initially, yes, we heard a few little rattles going down the road. You know, they say that it's not the magnets on it, it's an all aluminum table. So having the magnet stick to it real well, we found we had to put a little metal plate in there. And then, as you can see, I ran a couple of little rubber gaskets on there. And now with that, driving 2,000 miles across the country, we had no issues, didn't have to listen to anything. And like I said, when you're ready to go, it basically folds up. Fold the sides in, down, and click, and it's done. We're going to shut the door. As you can see, everything shuts even right there. And normally, no, we don't even run a back seat. There is a back seat right now. We actually, out in Utah, found one on Facebook Marketplace an hour and a half ago, and didn't have a back seat for the Jeep. And figured, well, it was a great deal on one. We'd throw it in here, so we're going to be a little more packed on the way home, but we were able to make it fit. And I think that's about it. So that's our 2012 Jeep Rubicon, and thanks for watching.